Okay, so we're out here, and I've got Pat, and we're seeing an advanced screening of Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse. Now, this may not come out by the time it's been recorded, you know, depending on what we can't say, because it comes out in 2 weeks. So, at the time of this recording, what are your thoughts?
I think it's going to be fun. It looks interesting, and I love the fact that Spider-Man Noir is in it.
I am a big fan of Spider-Ham, and I'm glad that Spider-Ham is in this movie.
Peter Parker.
Peter Porker. So, looking forward to it. Been looking forward to it. Glad we have this opportunity, and the line is not very long, as you can see. I was worried about not being able to get enough, being too long, not being able to see it. So, we will let you know our thoughts at the end of it. Yes, another animated movie on a horror podcast video. But it is what it is, and I love this shit. Anything else?
No. Go Spider-Man.
Yep, go Spider-Man. All right, everybody. So, normally this would be at the theater, but this place you had to pay to park. So, we had already paid, and I didn't want it to expire, but we're outside of Pat's place, still in the car.
Yep.
And so, I don't know if I can necessarily put this up, but I'm going to wait to put this up until, well, if you're watching it today, Into the Spider-Verse has come out.
I honestly, they didn't say anything. They didn't give us any warning. So, I mean.
So, I feel better about doing it, because also I don't want to ruin things for people if they haven't seen it.
I'm writing a blog post tonight.
Well, he's going to write something on the day this release.
You know me.
But, yeah. But I think that there's a couple of things that we should talk about that are going to be kind of in there. They're not necessarily, this is minor. Again, minor spoilers. Put that up on the top there. So, it's one, the very first thing, is it a good movie?
It's fucking awesome.
It is possibly one of the best, if not the best, Spider-Man movie I think I've seen in the longest time. I think that, the Spider-Man 2, really good. Spider-Man Homecoming, fucking amazing. This, I would probably do Spider-Man Homecoming than this. This would be my second favorite out of everything that I've seen. Geez, there's so many things. The animation is fucking amazing.
Yeah, I wasn't sure if I was going to like it at first, because the way it just feels like, it felt wonky or something like.
Yeah, the trailers don't really highlight how well the animation actually is. Like, we were talking kind of about the end of it, that everything in the background is kind of weirdly faded. It almost has like that, when you're looking at an old 3D movie, when it's red and blue, and you can't see anything until you put the glasses on, and then all of a sudden it comes 3D. It's like that in the background, basically defocused, and only the stuff that you need to pay attention to is actually focused on in the film. So it's kind of interesting in that way.
Yeah. The animation, I think, was great. The voice acting was great. The story was great. I mean, all around, some of the hidden things in there, and then also just in general, like almost every Spider-Man nod to movies, comic books, cartoon shows, just in pop culture, like it was just great. Like it was awesome.
Yeah,
I don't want to give anything away.
Yeah, I know this. The one thing I will say is that this is focused around the Sam Raimi Spider-Man films. Yeah. So everything is based, like, and you see it in the trailer too. This is not something new, where Spider-Man tells about, oh, this is how I used to be. Like, and that's basically part of the trailer actually starts the film, right? But then it does do, it does the ultimate Spider-Man way of telling the story of how Miles Morales becomes Spider-Man.
Yeah.
It's a little bit different. Well, quite a bit different. But the things I like is that I like and I disliked at the same time. But every time they introduced a new Spider-Man, they went through that same thing again.
Here's the story.
Here's the story. And what I didn't like was that, Spider-Ham didn't get a full fucking thing. Like, come on. I want the origin story of Spider-Ham.
Yeah, bit by a radioactive pig.
And that was funny too, because when he is telling his story, and it's happening when two others are also getting their story, and the other two look right at him. They're like,
yeah, like, what the hell?
Like, what the hell? But it's really good. I think John Mulaney was a good voice actor for him. I think Nicolas Cage does a great job as Spider Noir. I don't know who plays Penny Parker, but that was done relatively well, and that's
I looked it up, but it was
it's like the anime whatever version of Spider-Man, and then you've got Spider-Gwen, who I thought and right away you know who it is, when she's first introduced into the movie. They try to make it a secret, but it's not really a secret. So, but overall, I think the film is really well done. I kind of like Pat, I don't want to give away a whole lot because there's a lot of really cool things in there. Though there is a twist, I'd say, what do you say, about 2/3 of the way through? That I kind of saw coming. I don't know about you. Like, the people behind us gasped. And I was like, really?
Yeah.
Like, you couldn't see that coming?
Well, and if you're there and you said you're a Spider-Man fan. Like, how do you kind of not know that? You know what I mean? Like, the other thing is there's also hints to it. If you saw Spider-Man Homecoming, you would know. Because, once again,
it's in there, yeah. You have basically, they're kind of building Miles Morales in that world, too.
Yeah.
A little bit, but surely. Yeah. I think that
he's in there. It's just, they just definitely haven't.
And who knows if that's going to actually lead to something later on.
I wouldn't mind it, but then I just hope if they do, because we all know, so this is no spoilers, this is in the comic, that Peter Parker dies in the same universe as Morales as he takes over.
Yes.
So what I'm hoping is if they do bring him in the comics, they're not going to... Well, I have a hard time believing that Disney's going to kill off...
I don't think Disney's... Well, especially since Spider-Man in Spider-Man Homecoming is such a young Spider-Man. Yeah. I don't think they're going to really get rid of him anytime soon.
Well, that's the thing, is they can still bring in Miles Morales, and he is in Brooklyn. Spider-Man's from Queens, so...
Mm-hmm. So he could do double duty. You have some people on one side and some people on the other. So the other thing is there is and everybody's gonna know this too, there's a Stan Lee cameo in it. And I think, again, this is another situation where the whole audience was just like, oh, and I thought the cameo, even though I think when he did it, he didn't intend it, of course nobody's gonna intend to be part of something when they're gonna die or something like that. But the way the cameo is done is such a send up to him that it's ridiculous. It's just, the way that he's animated, the way that he talks, what he actually says, all that stuff.
It actually kind of hit a little hard.
It hit a little hard
because of what he said, and
it's cool though.
The reason why he said it,
that whole thing is extremely well done. There are a couple of really funny things, some ridiculous stuff. Again, there's always something whenever they do stuff in superhero movies. Nobody ever does anything easy.
Yeah.
They have to take the long way to do these things.
Exactly.
And it's like, come on, really? Just, what's the shortest distance between 2 points? Straight fucking line. So overall, what would you give it?
Out of 10?
Out of 5.
Out of 5, doing the 5. I give it 5 wind out of nowhere out of 5.
And I'm going to give it 5 hammers that fit in your pocket out of 5. When you see it, you'll understand what we're talking about. 2 of probably my favorite parts in the movie. There's so many good parts in this movie. It's so ridiculous. And maybe, later on, after it's out for a while, maybe there'll be a spoiler cast on something else. But, I'm very thankful that we got to see an advanced screening of it. That we even got something that said, hey, why don't you go check it out? So, the site, I guess, I'm going to pull this little piece of paper out.
Let me whip this out.
Let me whip it out. Well, this came from Sony originally that I got it. But this place is called GoFobo, GoFobo, and they're not a sponsor or anything, which they would be. But you can basically go on there and they have advanced screenings that are for press, and they fill up the spots. Mm-hmm. And so you can go there, see what they've got, and maybe they have a movie in your area you want to see, and you can go see an advanced screening. But seats are usually limited, even though in our theater, I think they were relatively empty. Yeah. About half the theater was full. But still good. So, any last thoughts?
Go see it when it comes out, or when this comes out, you're going to put this up.
There's a possibility that this already went up, and I'm just said fuck it. And then if it got a takedown, then I'll put it back up when it's ready to go back up.
I say go check it out. It's a great movie, and just immerse yourself in the world and keep your eyes open for all the all the different things.
You're gonna absolutely, if you love Spider-Man and the whole Spider-Man universe, you're gonna fucking love it. It's that good.
Stay to the end.
Stay all the way to the end. There are two, like there's a little minor thing, and then at the very end of it, it is fucking worth it. Stay. Anyway, of course, you know Paranormal Pat, Paranormal Pat 64, Paranormal Pativity Top Podcast. Make sure that you go check him out. Available on iTunes, Spreaker, Stitcher, all those fun things. Spotify, Paranormal Pat 64 on Twitter, Paranormal Pat 64 on Instagram, Facebook.com/ I don't know what that is. Is that Paranormal Pat?
What was it?
What's your Facebook?
Paranormal Pativity.
Paranormal Pativity. So go.
It's Paranormal Pat 64, by the way.
Oh, whatever the fuck it is. But it's Paranormal Pat 64 like everywhere.
I'm wearing a Venom shirt.
He is wearing a Venom shirt. So, and then as always, go check out the Terrible Terror podcast available in all those places. Podcast. No, I don't know my own podcast. You could be watching, or you could be listening to the podcast that was released today on the first when this is being recorded of what the fuck was that movie? Saint, Dutch movie. Very, very funny. Not as funny as this.
Dutch movie? Oh, yeah.
Yeah. So, we will catch you next time on a car review. Later.
Bitches.